All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the W and Our Body Transformation Podcast. And in today's podcast slash video, I'm going to be covering the topic on how to get through the festive season. This is a video that I pretty much do every year because my knowledge keeps on updating every year. So I just want to provide you guys with the latest cutting edge art, science, whatever you guys want to call it, so that you guys can use it to your benefit and maintain your health and fitness and not feel guilty and enjoy yourselves during the festive season. So yeah, but before we just get started, feel free to like, share this video, drop a comment for the algorithm below, and subscribe as well. It just helps me get to more people out there. And before anything, what I mentioned in this video is just solely for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not meant to replace medical advice. So yeah, but for the purpose of this video slash podcast, I am going to be wearing my spectacles because I've made a couple of notes on the side. So yeah, like what's one of the biggest fears basically when it comes to, for most of the people out there basically, when it comes to the holiday season, right? Getting fat, right? Undoing all their progress. So I'm just going to tell you some of my 10 tips which have worked pretty well for me and have worked pretty well for some of my clients during the festive season. So yeah, first things first. This is something that I do. I mean, right now I'm in a diet, so pretty hungry despite being on Ratatouille diet. So, I don't even know whether the Ratatouille diet is even making an effect right now at the moment. But anyways, I get to do this at the end of the day, basically. That's part of the process, right? I enjoy this phase, I embrace it, and I know things are working. So, yeah, so what I have been doing lately is I've been running a fast from morning till afternoon, and something like around 1 or 2 p.m. I pull in a super light meal, and then I go out and train. And while I'm on my way to training, I'm having a lot of caffeine. Not saying that you're supposed to do that, but Monster energy drinks, basically 1 or 2 a day. Basically I kept my caffeine intake at 400 milligrams per day. But the caffeine has a slight hunger suppressing effect, and the sheer fact that I run a fast from morning till afternoon, and I have a bit of a light meal before I go and train, simply gives me that aggressive energy drive and the brain focus to help me perform in the session without feeling lethargic. But I keep most of my calories towards the end of the day, thereby minimizing my chances for overeating. But again, this is a bit of a double-edged sword basically. If you're someone who tends to lose it basically towards the end of the day because you run a fast from morning till afternoon, it makes more sense for you to, how do I say this? Makes more sense for you to start structuring lighter based meals from the start of the day, and then before you go for your Christmas, New Year's, whatever, it makes more sense for you to pull in a solid meal. And then you approach your celebrations from a place of want rather than need, which is a positive eating pattern basically. The second thing, this has actually really helped me. This is something that I've actually done this time because I've gotten to my leanest, and this is something that I preach to a lot of my clients basically, which is to eat mindfully. If you simply chew your food well, you secrete the right hunger hormones at the right time, and you actually cultivate the skill of intuitive eating far more efficiently. So leptin, which is a hormone that tells you hey, stop eating but you're basically full, is secreted something 20 minutes. But most of the people eat with a lot of distractions. They eat with their cell phone on, they eat with their computer on, they eat with their Netflix on. Probably cut that out. When you're eating, make it sacred basically. Make sure that you're eating with family. These days I prefer to eat alone, so I eat alone in the kitchen while I'm just looking at my meal basically, because that genuinely satisfies me basically. So yeah, having some sort of a tradition, right, where you're eating together, this is community, belonging, make it a far more holistic experience basically, because that's going to be far more superior. Don't have your Netflix on. Back in the day, I would probably, how do I say this? I'd Netflix and do all of that rubbish stuff. Don't do that basically. The other thing is, this is solely up to you. This, not that it's going to make a big difference, but it makes more sense for you to pull in a nice resistance training session 2 to 3 hours before you go for your dinner basically, or a celebration, because immediately after training your muscles become extremely sensitive to nutrient uptake, and they just are far more perceptive towards the surplus of calories that you consume to be shuttled inside the muscle cells rather than it spilling over inside your fat cells basically. So like an intense training session where you basically go high reps, take all the sets to failure, is like a smart strategy basically, right? That's something that I did for Diwali. That's something that I tell my clients. But if you can't do it, that's absolutely fine as well. Not that it's gonna make like a bit of a big difference. The other one, the habits that have gotten you in shape, try to perform similar ones of them basically, but to a slightly lesser degree. So let's probably say these days I've been eating my vegetables first, then I've been chewing the protein next, and then I've been moving on to eating my carbohydrates first, so that I actually keep myself as full as possible basically. So you can you can simply use these basic habits to treat your meal like a meal and not treat your dessert like a meal, if that makes perfect sense, right? Keep your portions controlled around dessert basically. I'm not saying stop yourself, but keep your portions controlled. And by mistake also, even if you do go overboard, like don't feel guilty, because it's probably just going to be like a Christmas day or something like that, not like a Christmas week or a Christmas month, right? So how much damage you possibly can do in like a day? Not much basically. So yeah, the other one is give yourself permission to do so. If you want to indulge, give yourself permission to do so, and be calm, be mindful basically, right? What do I mean by this? A lot of people want to do something because they simply have been denied the fact, like, oh, you can't do this basically, right? Like if I tell you, hey, don't think about a pink elephant basically, you'll want to think about a pink elephant, right? If I tell you you're not supposed to have that cookie, you'll want to have that cookie. Allow yourself to eat the cookie basically. Give yourself the permission to do so basically, right? And that way you want to have it, you have it, or you don't want to have it, you don't have it basically, right? Because that guilt eating pattern is not there basically. So yeah, the other one is follow some sort of portion size guidelines before you indulge, so that you approach things from a place of want. This is pretty straightforward. Precision Nutrition does this pretty well. Like 2 palmfuls of protein, 2 fistfuls of vegetables, 1 cup tan of carbs, 1 thumb size of fat. I'm just gonna attach a sample meal structure as to what this looks like. So if you probably go for a Christmas dinner or Christmas lunch, that will probably look like 2 palmfuls of turkey, right? Turkey's delicious. 2 fistfuls of sauteed salad, 1 cup tan of mashed potatoes, they're amazing, and a thumb size of fat. Eat that first, just get in like a nice little healthy meal, and then if you want to indulge, yeah, allow yourself to do so, but then that way you indulge from a place of being well fed basically. The other one, give yourself targets basically if they don't pressurize you. If you had a tendency to put on some weight during the festive season, that's absolutely fine, right? Give yourself some targets if they don't pressurize you. So just go like, I am just going to give myself like 1 or 2 kilo weight gain. Or if you're someone who gets really, really pressurized with that, don't do it basically. The other one, hold yourself accountable, having like a bit of a coach, having like a bit of a check-in, or taking your weighing scale with you, etc. Not in a way that pressurizes you, but it's gonna like actually really, really help you basically, so that you don't go overboard. It's more of like, if you got a tendency to drive the car really, really fast, it's good to check the speedometer every once in a while. And the last one is, you might want to strategically use a GLP-1 drug around this time basically, because that is just going to have a slight hunger suppress. Not even a slight basically. That's got to, depending on the dose you take, you can increase or reduce the hunger volume that you experience, but it's not going to reduce the cravings basically, right? So like an Ozempic or a Mounjaro or retatrutide basically is just simply going to slow down gastric emptying, but so it's just going to slow down the rate at which your food is digested, right? Thereby giving the illusion that you're full, but it's not really going to remove the cravings basically, right? So yeah, like these new drugs that come on the market, might as well use it strategically around this particular time. But it also makes sense for you to taper it off strategically once when the festive season does end, instead of just completely coming off it, basically. Right? So, yeah, I mean, I'd suggest like take it like a day or like 48 hours before, basically. That's basically it. So, yeah, people, Happy New Year's and Merry Christmas, and have a nice one.